That was Congregation by Foo Fighters on their new album Sonic Highways, which should be coming out. Actually, it's November, so I think this month.
Yeah.
All right, so one of the biggest things to happen last week, really kind of just trumped DC's announcement when they announced their movies. I felt like nobody really cared, and then Marvel announced their movies, and I felt like a lot of people cared.
Yeah, and I felt like it just, but the timing was perfect. Marvel is definitely the powerhouse in this situation. What they've been doing with how they've handled their situation prior and all these licenses and all these movies, and just to put out this slate of movies that they know for a fact will make a good amount of money, and it just allows them to take risks on like other types of movies that they might not have even tried before.
Yeah, I think I fear that people are gonna get fatigued by all these superhero movies coming out. I mean, what at this point it's gonna be like at least four a year.
Yeah.
Like we might be hitting some fatigue there, kind of like a lot of other things. Video games like Rock Band or something.
Yeah.
Where I think Call of Duty is gonna hit pretty soon. But all right, so out of the movies that were announced for Phase 3, it's going to be Captain America: Civil War, which is something that was being speculated for the last week or two. Doctor Strange, both in 2016. Then 2017 is going to have three movies. It's going to have Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Thor 3 Ragnarok, and Black Panther, all in 2017. 2018 is going to have another three with Avengers: Infinity War Part 1, Captain Marvel, and Inhumans. And then 2019 we'll have Avengers: Infinity War Part 2.
Yeah, so it's a pretty big lineup.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of money coming their way.
Yeah. Is there anything in particular that you're excited for that they announced?
I really want to see what they do with Black Panther.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's to put them to again, that's just one of those movies that it's nice to see that they've given that a property like that a chance in the spotlight.
Especially it'll be the first black superhero to have his own movie. And Black Panther is being played by Chadwick Boseman, who is right now famous for playing Jackie Robinson in 42 last year, and James Brown in Get On Up this year. I'm pretty excited for that, but if we're excited for that, we also have to be excited for Captain Marvel, because in recent years, Captain Marvel has been a woman.
Yeah.
So it will be the first time that they give a female hero her own film in this Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting. I just really want to see how they go with it creatively. In terms of the story, but I think it's gonna be great.
It's also important to note that Doctor Strange is being played by Benedict Cumberbatch.
Definitely very important. I'm also looking forward to Doctor Strange.
Yeah. I think a guy named Doctor Strange played by a guy who's strange looking would be cool. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is coming out 2017, so we just gotta wait 3 years for that. Hopefully it's good. I don't know much about Inhumans.
Just recently it was Marvel started the Inhumans line with comic books, restarted it. So it's like a different story. It's been getting decent reviews, not amazing. Haven't read it myself, but it's dealing with this whole like different species. So it should be a good story.
I think it's kind of weird that Thor 3 in 2017 seems like the last time they're gonna have the big three have their own movie. The big three being Cap, Iron Man, and Thor.
Yeah, definitely.
That's interesting, and they're gonna move more towards Black Panther and Captain Marvel. I'm really interested to see what happens. But Avengers: Infinity War is 2 movies. What do you think of that? Are they trying to milk this thing, or?
I don't know. Yeah, I think I think it might be a money thing. Because at the end of the day, they want to entertain, but it's really all about the money.
Yeah.
But either way, they're still making good money. It's all that matters.
Yeah. And Tom Hiddleston and Idris Elba have been announced that they'll be in Avengers 2, which is something fans are excited for. I guess to see Tom Hiddleston as Loki again. Personally, after Thor 2, which I wasn't really, didn't really think that was that great. I'm kind of a little fatigued with Tom Hiddleston and Loki, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and we have the Gambit film also being planned.
Yeah, Gambit is gonna get his own standalone film with Channing Tatum as Gambit.
Channing Tatum, yeah.
That's cool. It's cool. Hopefully it's good, and you know, Gambit has already been shown in the X-Men movies and the X-Men Origins Wolverine.
And that wasn't a great film.
No, you look at it, I think that movie wanted to make 2 spin-off films, Gambit and Deadpool, unsuccessfully, but now a couple years later that people have forgotten about that movie, they're moving forward with Deadpool and Gambit.
Yeah, I think it's a good move.
They have the right Gambit, I think, this time.
Channing Tatum.
Yeah.
I do agree.
Interstellar's doing something interesting that I saw, like a little bit of promotion that I thought was interesting. I want to talk about. It's they're planning a trip to space. So one lucky person who buys a ticket from Fandango to see Interstellar will be entered into like a trip to like the moon, trip to space. They will be in like a rocket or whatever.
That's absurd.
Spaceship. I think that's absurd. I couldn't do that even if I want. I'd just be like, you can give it to someone else.
Yeah, there's a lot of risk involved with space travel.
Yeah.
But it's a great promotion. If I'm not mistaken, I can't remember the company, but I think it was a couple years ago or last year that a company had where you would send your name of like your favorite YouTube star or something along those lines, and that star would get to go to space for free. Yeah, in the coming years as well, there were plans to have commercial flights to space for absurd amounts of money, obviously, but that's still planned. But it's definitely it's an interesting promotional tool.
Yeah. Seth Rogen seems to be going the Jonah Hill route, and he's gonna be in the Steve Jobs movie starring Christian Bale. Jonah Hill route meaning what Jonah Hill did with Moneyball, where he was like in an Oscar movie. This is definitely gonna be this is gonna be an Oscar movie, so he's going Jonah Hill route. Maybe he wants to be taken seriously as an actor. I doubt it. I mean, he seems to be having fun with what he's doing. He seems to do whatever he wants at this point in Hollywood. He can write a movie or direct a movie, and it gets made. I mean, my hat's off to him.
No, yeah, no doubt. He's like you said, he has a lot of control right now. I think he'd be successful in whatever he chooses to do.
Yeah. To shift gears towards video games real quick. NBA Live 15 released alongside the new NBA season and is not getting good reviews. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
It's a franchise that isn't innovating in the way that 2K is innovating. So I'm not really surprised.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of pressure for NBA Live right now. They've been struggling these past few years. They haven't really taken the torch from 2K. 2K has definitely been the number one gaming for basketball gaming platform out there. It's definitely the one people go to. It's the number one selling rated. What do you think that 2K can do? EA can do to fix this franchise?
I think they've just been saying things about animations and saying it's still like kind of doesn't play as well. I guess they fixed the gameplay. They worked on graphics this year a lot. They should keep working on graphics because while they did improve from last year was a joke. It still leaves a lot to be desired.
Yeah,
in detail.
Definitely, I think in terms of actual gameplay too. So.
EA EA announced a lot of games, big announcements for their games. First off, the long-awaited Star Wars Battlefront is coming out next year in 2015, fall of 2015, which is insane. I've been waiting for that game for a long time.
Yeah, definitely. I've been waiting for that game for a long time, and we've already seen a lot of video of what the original looked like. It's sad it hasn't come out yet, but at least the fact that it's been announced, that gives us a lot of hope.
Yeah.
In terms of what to look forward to in the future.
We also have, they announced their next Battlefield, I guess major Battlefield game, Battlefield 5, is gonna come out in 2016. Battlefield Hardline comes out next year. About the cops and robbers, and that looks like a lot of fun. But I think they're gonna go back to their military shooter in 2016.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never really played the Battlefield franchise, so I don't know what to expect too much. But I would like to pick up Battlefield Hardline.
Yeah, Hardline I think is definitely taking an interesting take on it. I got to play a little bit of the beta, and it's definitely fresh. It's definitely its own.
Mm-hmm.
Feels different from the straight up Battlefield franchise, and I think it's definitely going to be a worthy pickup.
Far Cry 4 goes gold. This was surprising to me because I really thought that this game was gonna get delayed. I feel like we haven't heard enough or seen enough to really for me to really be confident that this was really gonna come out within like the next month.
Yeah, I think with Far Cry, you have it's definitely one of those AAA games that a lot of people are looking forward to. It's gonna make a lot of money. But Far Cry, I think it's a high quality game. So yeah, like you said, you expect it to be delayed.
What do you think? Call of Duty actually dropped. I think today, if you pre-ordered it, tomorrow, it's dropping. I think this year they're gonna see a decrease in sales. I think this might be it might continue its decline from being on top.
Yeah, I think it's definitely it was bound to happen. It's really bound to happen over time. You struggle with sales and definitely how commercially and how it's gonna get rated, and just it gets stale.
Yeah. Our roommate Jalen picked it up last night, so I want to see what that's like.
Yeah, definitely, and well, I think it's the story people are most looking forward to this year.
So we are gonna play a little song before we go into sports. The NBA season started last week, and on opening night, there seems like the theme song was "I" by Kendrick Lamar. And seeing as we haven't played that song yet this semester, I thought, why not play it now?
Yeah, no doubt. Let's do it. I by Kendrick Lamar.